War, spoils, and divine strategy. Surah 8 isn't for the faint of heart, but beneath the crashing sword lies a warning far more dangerous than any battlefield. This chapter isn't just about external enemies, it is about the enemy within. It's called the Islamic Dilemma. Now, Muslims love to say, we believe in all prophets, we believe in all books, and that's what that makes them Muslim. But what happens when the Quran praises the Torah and the Gospel, yet those books contradicts Islam? Well, congratulations, Islam. You just stepped on your own theological landmine. Let's talk about it. Here is the problem. I will keep it simple, okay? The Quran says the Torah and the Gospel were inspired by Allah. Quran says that they are preserved. The Quran says they were authoritative. But the Torah and the Gospel contradicts Islam on just about everything. Think about it. They say God is triune. They say Jesus Christ is the eternal Son of God who died on the cross and walked out of that grave, and his tomb is empty. He conquered the grave. They say salvation is by grace alone, not any works. There is nothing you can do to add on the work Lord Jesus Christ has already done for you. So, if the Bible is true, Islam is false. If the Bible is false, then Quran is false. Because Quran says Bible is true. Yeah, welcome to Islamic Dilemma. Now, let's take a look at the dilemma and walk through Surah 8, one of the Quran's most aggressive chapters. Let's start with Surah 8, verse 75. Those of blood relations are more entitled to inheritance in the book of Allah. Interesting, isn't it? It says the book of Allah, not just the Quran. So what is the book of Allah? Well, according to Quran itself, the book of Allah includes the Torah, the Gospel, the Psalms, and of course, the Quran. So, here's the question. Why is Muhammad appealing to the book of Allah for legal rulings? If only the Quran counts. Think about it. Unless the Torah and the Gospel were still valid. If the book of Allah is still authoritative and includes previous scriptures, then Islam just affirmed the Bible. Congratulations. Another example, Surah 8:41. We sent down to our servant on the day of criterion. That phrase, we sent down, it is used all over the Quran. God sent down the Quran. But wait, he also sent down the Torah. He also sent down the Gospel. Same word, same divine action. So here's the question, dear Muslims. Did Allah fail to preserve what he sent down before? Because if Allah sent down revelation and then it gets corrupted, then he's either too weak to protect it or too careless to care. So, if you say the Torah and the Gospel were corrupted, you just throw Allah and his book under the bus. Another example, Surah 8 verse 1. So fear Allah and obey Allah and his messenger. Let's think. Jews were commanded to obey Allah's revelation, the Torah. Christians were commanded to obey God's revelation, the Gospel. So what happens when the Quran tells you to obey God, but the Gospel contradicts Muhammad? You are stuck. If you obey the Gospel, you disobey Muhammad. But if you obey Muhammad, then you disobey the Gospel. Either way, someone is lying. Let me summarize. Surah 8 appeals to the book of Allah, which includes the Torah, God's pattern of revelation, which includes the Torah and the Gospel, the need to obey God, which means obeying the Bible. So, if the Bible is true, Islam is false. If the Bible is false, Islam is false, because it confirms the Bible. And that, my dear Muslim friends, is the Islamic dilemma, straight out of Surah 8. If you are Muslim, you've got two choices here. Admit that Quran is wrong by affirming the Bible, or admit the Quran is wrong for contradicting it. Either way, your religions just implodes. So next time when someone says the Bible has been corrupted, ask them why Muhammad keeps quoting it. Then maybe hand them over a copy of the Gospel of John and see what happens.